Former President Trump today had a pre-sentence probation interview after being convicted in the New York hush money trial. In New York, the Department of Probation is required to conduct a pre-sentence investigation for anyone convicted of a felony to, quote, assess status, health, finances, and other details. But it's also a way to gauge remorse for a crime or acceptance of guilt. The probation officer then offers a sentence recommendation based on the interview and the crime. The judge doesn't have to abide by it. Some on the left complaining that Judge Merchan allowed this to be a virtual hearing, with Trump calling in from Mar-a-Lago. He was allowed to have his attorney, Todd Blanche, with him throughout. The Legal Aid Society and several New York City public defender groups put out a joint statement calling Trump's arrangement an example of the two-tiered justice system and calling on the Department of Probation to allow all people convicted of crimes in the city to be allowed counsel in the probation interview, not just billionaires. This left us wondering, how would a by-the-book probation interview go? What would they ask? Joining us now is Paul Petrus. He's a former probation officer and now a criminal defense attorney specializing in parole and probation. Thanks very much for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Dan.
All right, so what would be the typical questions? This apparently was less than a half-an-hour interview. What are the typical sorts of questions that he'd be asked?
Great. Health, physical and mental, employment history, criminal record, where he lives, where he's going to reside if he's granted probation, basic biographical questions.
So nothing that's going to be particularly enlightening apart from maybe acceptance of responsibility for the crime?
Yeah, they're going to ask him that, yes.
And we know he's not going to accept responsibility for it.
He can make whatever statement he wants.
And then the parole officer takes that into consideration in making some sort of recommendation?
Yes, they compile the report. At the end of the report, they'll have a recommendation, probation or incarceration. If probation, what the conditions might be, and if incarceration, how long.
It seems to me this is a case where the judge is going to kind of do it on his own, right?
I think that's right. I mean, the report is a good guiding light, though, with some of the basics about the person that might not be known, but obviously with the president or former president, there's a lot known.
What do you make of the complaints from the various legal organizations saying, oh, he got to call in virtually and he got to have his lawyer there? Big deal?
Certainly different in state court. In federal court, it would be more rare not to have your attorney present. In state court, it's the opposite. So that is unusual, calling in and having your attorney. But since COVID, it's a little more recognizable than before in terms of calling in.
So how big a deal? I mean, they're making it out to be that we're talking about two systems of justice here, et cetera. You know, you're a criminal defense lawyer in New York. These are your colleagues in the criminal defense bar complaining about this? Well,
I would prefer to be representing my clients in the interview for probation, so I think it is a one-up for Mr. Blanche. But of course, it also depends on how well he coaches President Trump or former President Trump during the interview.
Is it one person who's interviewing him in a probation?
Yes, typically so, yeah.
So it's just one probation officer, random government employee, who's sitting there across from Donald Trump.
That's right.
Saying, what's your name?
Right.
Where do you live?
Date of birth.
What do you do for a living?
Are you married?
Yeah. Wow, that's probably an awkward, but not particularly enlightening.
No, it's really the goal for the defendant would be to try to get the probation officer to make a recommendation favorable to him.
But I don't think he's going to care about that, because he'd have to accept responsibility, and he's not going to.
Remorse is a big thing. The sentencing judges take that into consideration every day.
Thank you for watching. Go to NewsNationNow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.